Hello my friends and welcome back once again. My name is Jordan, also known as J.R.R, and you are watching the second matchup between Arrow in the Knee and World Stage. And I am watching the action safely here from my little Mumakil watchtower over in the corner of the map. And they are facing off as with World Stage as the High Elves and Arrow in the Knee as Rohan. So let's go check out their army compositions here. Looks like this is Arrow in the Knee. He's got one unit of Royal Guard, two units of Aorling Swordsmen. He's got some Rittermark Axemen, some Aorling Militia, a bunch of Royal Guard. Yeah, it looks like this is where he spent most of his money, is in his Cav wing. He's going to need it. The High Elves have some pretty powerful Cav, and it looks like he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got the maximum amount of Royal Guard, and the 2 Royal Guard Spearmen on this end. It looks like he's really neglected his infantry wing here, and I don't think he's got any archers, so that might play against him in this match. Let's go see what the High Elf opponent here has brought. 1, 2, 3 units of Elder Windray Spearmen. A large number of I forget what these guys are called, but they're pikemen. They're Lindon long pikes or something like that. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 units of those, probably as a counter to Rohan's very powerful cavalry. 2, 3 units, 4 units of Quendi, of sword Quendi. He's got a lot of High Elf archers. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 units of Elder Ringway archers, as well as 4 units of Elder Ringway lancers. So this is a very balanced, very formidable army for Arrow in the Knee here to face. And he's got to be after blood on this one, because he lost the first match. It was a very, very good match that you guys just saw. Absolutely amazing. And unfortunately, he lost that one. So he's fighting for his life here. It looks like he's separating his Cav wing from the rest of his infantry here. I'm going to be interested to see how he's going to use his infantry in this battle, because he's going to need to use them really well. He's going to have to try and engage these long spears here, I think, and try and get some hammer and anvil strikes off on them with his very numerous, very powerful Cav. Oh no, let's see what he's got here. Maybe he doesn't have 4 units of Elder Ringway Lancers. He's got 2 units of Nori Tier No Cav and 2 units of Elder Ringway Lancers. So I think Rohan does have the edge in cavalry in this battle, but in infantry and in ranged firepower, the High Elves are definitely quite far ahead. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, it's going to take them a little while to get to each other, because they're quite a long ways away from each other across the map. So I will see you guys again in a moment. So our 2 opponents here are getting a little bit closer to each other. There's a little bit of maneuvering going on here in the Cav section of both of their armies. Previously he had his cavalry here on his left wing, and it looks like he's going to bring them around to the other side. Interesting to see what these guys do. I mean, Rohan really has to use their cavalry effectively if they want to come out on top here, and the High Elves are they're extremely powerful, and he's brought a lot of spear units. I mean, he saw Rohan, and yeah, he loaded himself off on spear units. He's also got some these sword Quendi here they're technically militia units for the Elves, but they're pretty formidable in melee, and they're sword infantry, so they're going to be pretty tough for his limited infantry force here to overcome. And I think at least half of them are spearmen. Oh no, that's his Cav. His infantry's way over here. He's very, very spread out right now. Looks like he's retreating to another position over here. I guess he's going to try and get the High Elves to follow him a little bit, but they're still miles away from each other. We're still very much in the maneuvering stage. Yeah, so I will see you guys again in a minute when their armies approach each other a little more. So it looks like the two armies are still or the 2 wings of Rohan's army are still maneuvering around. He's staying just out of the range of the archer companies of the world stage, just skirting around them, maneuvering, waiting for an opportunity here. Although his infantry body is a little far away. I think if at this point, if he had his troops over here, he'd be in a very good opportunity to take the world stage's forces in between the hammer and the anvil. He's got his very vulnerable rear exposed to his infantry body over here, but they're too far away to really make a difference. So yeah, he's still maneuvering, still waiting for an opportunity to get in there and make use of his powerful cavalry. So I'll see you guys back here in a minute. And it looks like the world stage here has had enough of all this maneuvering around the map. looks like he's going to send one of his cavalry units to out into the field to stalk the maneuvering of these Rohan troops. I'm sure he'll jump on them at any opportunity he can get. He's still got a number of his cav over here. You can see some of Rohan's Royal Guard maneuvering behind the High Elven lines, but he's still got enough cav over here to defend himself reasonably against an assault from Aaron the Knee's Royal Guard. Let's see what he's doing over here. Yeah, this one unit of cav is completely safe. It's much faster than the infantry, and he doesn't have any ranged units to speak of, so he's in no real danger here unless he gets too close. I don't think he's going to let himself do that. He's proved to be a very cautious player so far. He's not rising to any of the bait that Aaron the Knee is setting for him, so I don't think he's going to, barring a micro mistake, I don't think that unit over there is going to get caught. He's done something I think that is quite clever here. While his units are advancing, he's put his spear units in the back to guard himself from any attacks from the rear from Aaron the Knee's horsemen. Yeah, all of his squishier units, his archers and his light infantry, are being shielded by this wall of spearmen right here. So I think that's some really nice maneuvering on the part of the High Elf player. You got to give it to him for that. Let's see what's going on over here. Oh, it looks like battle's been joined. I did not see this. It looks like he ran over that unit of Aorling spearmen. He's going to rush in there, and he's going to rush back out. He took a few casualties, but nothing major, and that unit of spearmen has been completely wiped out here. So it looks like Aaron the Knee is going to have to respond to this. He's going to have to get his units together, start forming them up for battle here, and then bring his hammer down to bear on the backs of these High Elven troops in any way that he gets an opportunity to, because these infantry units here, his light infantry and such, they are not a match for Rohan's units. They will probably take some pretty horrendous casualties, especially against these Royal Guard, who are no slouches in combat. These Aorling swordsmen are actually quite good. They're almost a match for Gondor swordsmen. And then there's these guys. These guys pack a pretty terrible punch, and they're going to be very useful against heavier High Elven units. So it looks like he's turning around here. He's going to go back for another charge. His lines here are quite thin. He's probably going to go right over here. That might be what Arrow wants him to do, because if he attacks this unit, he's going to be able to swarm on it from either side with his Rittermark Axemen and his Aorling swordsmen. So if he looks like he might be going back in for another charge, if he does that, it could prove to be the end of that unit, but we'll have to see what happens. See, he's timed this quite nicely. Once these units get engaged and all the combat starts, he's going to have his troops here, his archers and such, in a good position to start taking pot shots at the thin lines of Rohan's infantry over here. Yeah, it looks like he's still just out of range. He's still skirting just out of range of the Rohirric troops, or the Rohirric troops are skirting just out of the range of his Eldar archers. Yeah, he's not going for it. He knows these infantry aren't in a place that they're not close enough to really pose a threat to the backs of his infantry here. Oh, it looks like we're going to see some kills going off here. Let's see what happens. It doesn't look like any of them got killed. No casualties. He's going to quickly run out of range because he knows the power of these Eldar archers. See, if his infantry here was closer, he would have a very good opportunity to charge into the exposed kind of soft underbelly of this High Elven army. But at the moment, his options are fairly limited, just having his cav in the area. So let's see what he's doing over here. It doesn't look like he's moved his infantry at all. He's seen the power of this one unit here, so maybe that kind of, I don't know, maybe that shocked him a little bit. I don't think he expected to lose his entire unit of militia spearmen to that one charge, but that's what happens. I didn't see exactly what happened, but which is my bad, by the way. But yeah, they might have charged into the backs of them. It looks like he's going to move his archers over here. He's going to try and get them into range so he can start taking out some of Rohan's infantry that Rohan really cannot afford to lose, because they cannot win this with cav alone, unfortunately. He's just brought far, far, far too many spearmen. If he had less spearmen and more swordsmen, for example, or something else, like Mithlon nobles or that kind of thing, then Rohan might be able to just win this with its cav alone. I think they'd be in a much better position. But with all these spearmen, it's gonna be an uphill battle for the Rohan player. It looks like he's forming his troops up here. Yeah, he's moving his archers forward. He's trying to force Arrow in the Knee's hand here. It looks like he's gonna try and skirt around these spearmen here, and if he moves his archers too far forward, he's gonna put them at risk of being run over by the Rohirric heavy cav. Well, it looks like he's going to counter this with moving his own cav forward up into here in order to counter any kind of menace. And he's got some very thin lines, so if his heavy cav attacked anything but these spearman units, they're probably just going to plow right through it and just make a huge mess of things, which is really going to put the Rohan player in a bad place. Let's see what else is going on over here. Is he moving? Which way is he moving his troops here? It looks like he's still moving them forward. He's going to try and hit him from all sides at once, it looks like, but he has enough spearmen to really ensure that's not really going to pose a major threat to his army. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought he just had a number of light infantry over here and not so many pikemen, but he's done a very good job. The High Elven player has done a very good job of spreading out his spearmen to support his softer troops. Oh, it looks like, yeah, they're trying to bait Rohan forward. Rohan is taking the bait. And, oh, it looks like he's bringing in his heavy cav here. This could be disastrous for the Rohan infantry. Let's see what happens. Kaboom! Oh, that's horrible. And they're getting shot here. Unfortunately, he's going to take, the Elven player's going to take some friendly fire here. But it looks like, yeah, that is going to be the end of that unit of Aorling militia. They're probably going to start routing pretty soon. Yeah, it looks like they're beginning to rout. And his infantry here they're just terribly exposed. It looks like there's a bit of a weak point here in the High Elven lines. If he wants to put his cavalry in there, that'd be a very good place to do it. And it looks like that's exactly what he's going to try and do. He's seen what's happening here, and he's going to attack from the other side as well, trying to get a piece of these light infantry here and probably get into these cav as well. It looks like he's, just a devastating charge against this unit of Quenti here, and he's going to pull out immediately. He doesn't want his units to get too entangled with these spearmen here. In response to this, worldstage is going to pull his troops back into a much tighter formation. Let's see what's going on here. And it looks like he managed to bring his Royal Guard and some swordsmen and the rest of his infantry around. But it looks like something brutal happened over here to his poor infantrymen, so they're just going to be completely destroyed. Unfortunately, it's going to be the end of these Rittermark axemen here too. They're going to take a charge directly from behind. These spearmen are going to get here too late to save their friends. If he can start breaking through the lines here, it looks like this unit of Royal Guard here got caught by these Nori Tyrno, and they're going to take some pretty bad casualties in the retreat there. It looks like this unit of Royal Guard is losing to these Nori Tyrno cav. And this other unit here is, they're coming up against spearmen. They've managed to break through and create a gap here, but unfortunately he doesn't look like he's going to be able to exploit it very much. There's just too many spearmen, and if he puts himself in there, he's just going to be surrounded. How are we doing over here? It looks like these Aorling spearmen are doing actually fairly well against the Elder Rinway. They're beginning to overlap them on the flanks, and they're going to start to put the pressure on them. He's going to throw more of his spearmen into here against these Royal Guard. It's really what he needs to do right now is, just take out his infantry, and then that's going to be probably game for Rohan. It looks like Rohan is having some troubles here in the cav department. They're starting to take some damage from behind from the Elder Rinway archers. There's just hundreds of them firing all at once into the backs of the Royal Guard over there. Looks like he's trying to skirt his soldiers around here to support his beleaguered infantry. Looks like most of them have been destroyed by a cav charge that I didn't see by the Elder Rinway Lancers. Let's see what's going on over here. Looks like there's a unit or two of Royal Guard spearmen that are actually holding the line quite nicely. He's going to try and push through with his Royal Guard on horse and his foot Royal Guard, but it looks like this battle is pretty much over. I'm not sure if these guys are routing. No, it doesn't look like they're routing. They're trying to run away. But Rohan's cav is just being picked apart by these Eldar cav. He really needed to gang up on them in order to destroy them. So it looks like he's going to the Elven player here is going to try and cut him off. There's a couple units, just one unit of his cav that's still in the vicinity and able to help. Unfortunately, they're going to get taken from both sides, and that's going to be the end of this Royal Guard unit here. It's a very, very catastrophic loss for Rohan. Let's see how he's doing over here. And it looks like the spearmen have gone in amongst his Royal Guard, and it looks like this is game over for Rohan. His infantry is being surrounded. His cav wing has been just completely decimated. There's not a lot that he can do at this point. It looks like that looks like that's a rout. His Royal Guard are going to flee for their lives. I'm not sure if these guys are routing or not. It looks like they might be, and I think that is the end of Rohan's general. Tourney. That's the end of the battle here. So good game to both of these players. They did a fantastic job, especially in that first battle. Arrow in the knee. He put up a really, really great fight, despite being quite outnumbered and outgunned in terms of ranged infantry. So good game to these two. It looks like worldstage is going to advance on to the second round. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the battle. There's going to be more to come, and I will see you guys later. And there you go, defeat. Unfortunately, it was a good battle though. I mean, the High Elves definitely brought an army to counter his. They had just so many spearmen, and he had a lot of cav. If he had more infantry, maybe things would have been differently, but you don't really know what your opponent's going to bring. So good game to the two of them. That was fantastic, and I will see you guys next time.